So I was running, and to cool down, I came to this area, and before I get home, certain distance, I walk. And while I'm walking, on my right hand side, when I turned, I saw this woman going around and around. There is nothing out of ordinary about this woman, yet I heard in my spirit, this woman is a witch. Rebuke the spirit in her. And so I obey the voice, and I'm rebuking and speaking against that spirit, witchcraft, the spirit in her. And I come home, I'm showering, still rebuking. And then in the middle of it, it just like came to me, and I just say, how did I know this woman is a witch? Why am I speaking all these things against her? And so I kind of felt bad that I have done that, and then I forget about it. I don't remember if it was a week or a month. It just after a long time, this time I'm driving, and at the same spot when I look at that woman have a completely full outfit that is witch's outfit. She have that black robe, she have that circle pointy hat, and she have the American Indian dream catcher thing, and she's still going around and enchanting. By then, I knew what I heard, that previous voice was the voice of God. And so I start fasting and praying, just speaking whatever she projected for this neighborhood, whatever she spoke, poverty, sickness, disease, rebellion, brokenness, divorce, whatever she spoke into this neighborhood, I start praying, and I start fasting and breaking it and reversing it. And I have a friend who lives across from her, and so that woman, friend of mine, is not a believer, but we are friends. So I went to her and I say, that woman across from you is a witch, and she's been projecting negative things into this neighborhood, and I wanted to anoint the neighborhood and walk where she walked and undo everything she have done to this neighborhood. Would you mind walking with me? And the lady didn't mind walking with me. As a matter of fact, she told me after she moved, this witch moved into the neighborhood, and so have a surgery, so have been in an accident. She told me different things that happened to them in that area. And so, the lady, the neighbor, my friend were hearing me, I went around and I reversed everything the enemy has projected, the enemy has spoken in our neighborhood. To make a long story short, not even 3 months, my friend called me and he said, you're not going to believe this, but the witch have been removed out of this neighborhood. Now it's completely different people bought the house and they live there. So this is the result of fasting and praying. I'm sure I have been rubbing shoulders with witches and warlocks and all kind of wicked people, never knew. But when I started fasting and praying, God is opening my ear. God is opening my eyes. And I see what's going on in my family, my life, my community, my city, my country. So those things are revealed to you only when we're really disciplined enough to fast and pray. I know all of us are not the same level. Some of us have a health problem, so we can't fast for a long period of time. It doesn't matter if you can fast a day, if you could fast a meal. Make that your routine, and God will honor, and He will open a door for you. You'll be able to be healed. Maybe you'll be completely released from that infirmity, and you'll be able to do a longevity. The benefit of fasting. To break a wickedness out of our life, according to Isaiah 58, chapter 6, chapter 58, verse 6. Isaiah 58, 6. To break a wickedness out of our life. To stand on the gap for our families, for our neighbors, for our cities, for our nation. Those are the reasons that we need to fast and pray. Like I say, the stubborn spirits will break only when we fast. Out of ordinary things, powers will happen when you are starting fasting and praying. I have another testimony that I wanted to share. A neighbor across the street from me have been diagnosed with cancer and have been given a day to live. And that retired friend of ours, our neighbor, he was in the middle of remodeling his house to put it in the market, but he was not able to finish because of his sickness. And yet I refuse for him to die, and I've been fasting and prayed many days, and that man was able to be healed from his cancer. He have testified what God have done for him in our prayers group and in our gatherings and all that. Why am I saying this to you? I am just an ordinary person like you, but what God able to use me to heal a person who's diagnosed with cancer and condemned to death, or to identify a witchcraft in our neighborhood, a family situation. There are so many things that I could tell you that happen. It's not because I'm, special. I'm just an ordinary like you. But what I have done is I understood the benefit of fasting and praying. And when I do that, God was able to accomplish those things in our life. Those things that have became a witness in our neighborhood, and people see. Why did God do those things? For one, God say, call to me and I will answer. When we call to him with all our heart, he will answer. The reason he answers is to show his existence. We live in this broken world, and to tell people the existence of God, we really need to have things to show them. We can't just say God exists. You really have to demonstrate his power. One friend have a long time, she have 2 boys, and since her sons got married, the daughter-in-laws are not getting along with them, and so every holiday has been so difficult for the families to get together. And every time they got together, according to her, it's a war. And this woman, after she heard the testimony of this man, she told me, would you pray for me? My husband is not feeling well, and I don't want him to die. Just seeing this war that goes on in our family. I want him to really have a joyful holiday. At least that was, I think, Thanksgiving or Christmas, I don't remember, but that was her desire. I don't even know her husband, but I really brought them to the throne room by fasting and prayer. And a few weeks later, this woman texted to me, and she said, you will not believe this. In a very, very long time, for the first time, we have a peaceful holiday together. It's not just a celebration of holiday, but our relationship has been strengthened. Our relationship has been repaired. So those are the things that really bring a harvest into the kingdom of God. So when we fast and pray, it's not about just us, but also we are looking at the society at large. If we wanted to bring people to the kingdom of God, we had to be the right farmers. To farm, we need to be equipped. All the farmers you see in our communities, they have a tractor, they have all the equipment they need to farm. That's how they produce. So you and I need to be equipped. And so that's why I'm telling you those things, and I'm hoping you will understand. By understanding, you will become a pillar for your home, for yourself, for your community, and even for your nation. Most of the time we focus on the symptoms, not the cause. Fasting and praying will help us to deal with the cause. You know, we may have a generational curse. Some people, they just like, you find one person may be well, but the next person is addicted. Could be alcohol, whatever kind of addiction. And you are praying and you're praying, you don't see any breakthrough. This kind of things that you are dealing with and you're not seeing a result, God will bring it to your remembrance. God will reveal it to you. So fasting and pray, it helps you to understand that. Isaiah 58:1 also help us to deal with this. For our nation to be an answer. The chaotic economically, right now we're dealing with virus, whatever it is, when we, God's people, fast and pray, we can find a solution. God will speak to us how to take care of this situation, how to be the people of solution. And so those are the reasons why we really need to be fasting and praying.